On this week's episode, we talk about Nomadland.
And other pop culture news.
This week we watched the Oscar-nominated, many award-nominated film Nomadland from director Chloe Zhao and starring Frances McDormand.
Yes, and David
Strathairn.
Huh?
Strathairn.
Strathairn?
Yeah.
I always thought it was Strathairn.
So did I, but I've been looking up how to pronounce people's names.
Oh, good.
And yeah, David Strathairn.
So the movie Nomadland is Hulu exclusive. I mean Hulu original. I'm pretty sure you can watch in some theater out there. I'm not sure, maybe you don't. So it's available on Hulu. And we saw it.
We did. Good story.
And it was interesting. It's based on a book that we didn't read. So another movie based on a book that we didn't read.
Yeah, I'd like to take this moment to just really emphasize that I am in fact literate and I do read stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
This one.
Just not books that get turned into movies, apparently.
Yeah, this one I will not even. No, I'm not gonna read. It doesn't. It's not my type of book. But so. Yeah, so based on the book, it's available on Hulu. It's this story about a woman that she was married to a man, and they both lived in a city called Empire. The city was created and was inhabited by people that work for this mining company. What's it called? U.S.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of the mining company, but they mine gypsum, which is used for making sheetrock.
Okay, so before I forgot, spoiler alert. Okay. So there's not much to spoil, but anyways. So they live in this city, Empire, and work for this company. But suddenly the company shuts down as the market demands. It's like
it was part of the Great Recession. It's like when the housing bubble burst, people weren't building as much, less demand for sheetrock. The gypsum mine closes.
Wait, the Great Recession? Or that's 29.
That's 2008. No, that's the Great Depression.
Oh, okay.
The Great Recession was the 2008, like The Big Short and.
I know. I didn't know they call it that. Anyway, so
capital G, capital R.
The bubble, the what they call the immobiliary, the rental, the housing
bubble.
Housing bubble.
Real estate bubble.
Real estate bubble.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, so the real estate
So
bubble, the real estate bubble caused this company to go down, and with the company going down, everybody that lived in the city it was there because of the company. Not only the people that work for the company, but the services and utilities, restaurants that served the city served the population that were there because of the company. So when the company went down, the city became ghost town. Everybody left to the point that they claimed that the zip code was discontinued.
Yeah, there was just nothing left.
Yeah. Anyways, so this woman, her husband died. And when he died?
He died
Before the company closed?
I don't think so. I think he died not long after.
Okay, so but yeah, her husband died, and she moved out of the city, out of the town, into a van, and start this way of life that apparently other people do. It's like nomadic through America, living in a van. And stopping from town to town, season to season, getting work. In the beginning, she's working for Amazon for the holiday program, temporary work for campers for people like her. So she does that. After the holiday, she moves to warmer states and start working for the parks. And then by then she moves to a beet.
Yeah, she goes back up north for the sugar beet harvest.
Yeah. And in this process, she meets people that live similar, if not the same, way of life of her, living in a van, or living, moving throughout the country. And one interesting aspect of the movie is it's the same thing is interesting. It's got, at least it kind of bugged me a little bit. It's the fact that all the characters are real characters, and they play versions of themselves. So the director, the producers went to these people. They drive around the U.S. and doing what they do. They met them and they asked them. I assume they asked them to play, close to reality, to play something similar to what they are in real life. So that would reflect into the film. For the character that is not real. The character is an actress, is a famous actress, and it was interesting. We met some very interesting people with very interesting philosophies that choose or are made to live by circumstance, are made to live off the grid, and yeah,
and that's. So Frances McDormand's character, her name is Fern, and she's kind of like this. Her original plan was she wanted to stay close to home, close to the people she knew in Empire. But as the Amazon job ended, it just wasn't feasible. And her friend was saying, "Well, hey, you need to come to this event where all these nomads gather, and you'll learn what you need to know. And it's down south in Arizona, it's warmer and so she's kind of our path into this nomadic world. Like we see her learning how to do this and how she outfits her van and learns these different skills and things to survive. And really the whole time the movie stays on this like really thin line, this gray area between fiction and nonfiction, because most of the cast are really just playing themselves, more or less. And Frances McDormand herself, like, she was living in the van for the most part. She was like driving around in it for, I think it was like 4 months, 3 or 4 months that she spent doing that. She actually did the work that we see her doing, cleaning campsites and harvesting beets and working at restaurants and things like that. Some of the other places she visits, like restaurants, and there's like this little yacht club in what's it called, like the Quartzsite Yacht Club. It's a real place, and they're locals playing, so it's technically fiction, but I guess it's all based on and shows a lot of real life things. In fact, even their names, like Frances McDormand plays a woman named Fern, David Strathairn plays a guy named Dave. We meet Dave's son, who was played by David Strathairn's son. So the whole thing is in this sort of gray area between fiction and nonfiction. And and that for me was it was very interesting. It's a very interesting experiment. But for me, it was kind of like, if it's a documentary, you pretending to make a record, to make to frame a piece of reality, even though it can be manipulated. But in this case, they're not trying to go for that. They want to tell a story from a book or inspired by a book, and they use real characters. So I don't know what to feel about, because I do know that that's like, you watch, I don't know, some fiction movie that will touch you, that will make you really emotional, make you cry, because it will create a suspense of disbelief on you. You get involved with the stories, and their joy will be your joy, their sadness will be your sadness. Because they did that, and we knew. For me, the suspense of disbelief wasn't really, wasn't super high. Like, for instance, there's a character named Swanky that we learned that she has cancer, and then she's gonna die in several months, and we learned that she didn't die. That it's like,
it's like the
character died. The woman, the real life woman, didn't die.
So because there was like in between the borders of reality and fiction, it didn't create. I don't know about you, but on me it didn't create the suspense of disbelief that of a good fiction movie or even a good documentary movie will create. Because a documentary movie will create emotions on you for different reasons, you know. But because it keeps like, you know, like riding you know, too close to the border, sometimes going to fiction, sometimes going to reality, it keeps like, you know, throwing me off. But I thought it was a really good experiment, and I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to check the other ones. I heard from everybody that this was a big one. I don't know if it was my favorite. I didn't think Chicago 7 was like, you know, it was like, whoa, this is Oscar gold. But between this and Chicago 7, which was basically the only two we saw so far, right?
I think so.
I was like, yeah, Hillbilly Elegy I really liked it, but it was not nominated. It was nominated for Best Actress, but not for Best Movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked it, but it's not my favorite so far. Again, we have to see the other ones.
Yeah. I don't know, because I'm comparing the two, now that you mentioned the two together, I'm comparing them in my head, because Trial of Chicago 7 is based on real life events.
Yeah.
But the whole time whenever I watch a movie like that, the whole time I'm wondering, like, wait, did this really happen? And quite often some of the more powerful moments, like, didn't really happen or didn't really happen like that. This one, like, yep, this is fiction, but there are real people like that. I don't know. It's like, I feel like they're different sides of the same coin. One is like, there's a lot to think about here. Yeah. I enjoyed the movie. I think Chloe Zhao definitely deserves the nomination.
Oh yeah,
we haven't seen enough of them to say if she deserves the award or not. But I think it's
the directing of it is very interesting. The storytelling.
Yeah.
That's the issue. Is like, I'm not saying the story is bad, but I'm saying because it like, you know, it keeps flying between reality and fiction. It did throw me off, right? You know, almost right away.
Yeah, it is different. I personally I thought it was an interesting way to tell stories. It's maybe kind of like two sides of the same coin, like letting people tell their own stories, kind of. I don't know. These are all new thoughts, so I'm not going to articulate them clearly. I agree with you. It's a neat experiment, and because I think if it was a straight up documentary, I don't know if I would have watched, or if it would have gotten the same audience.
I mean,
you know,
definitely not. I don't know. Maybe I don't know how popular this movie is. It might got
That's
some.
True.
It might got some boost from the award season.
Yeah.
You know, it won what was Berlin. I think it won Berlin.
Yeah.
And after that, Golden Globes and Oscars and critics. So. Of course, some people say, "Hey, you need to watch this movie," and it's on Hulu. Hulu is very extremely popular platform. You know, if a movie pops up on your screen and says, "Hey, this movie is awarded. This movie is nominated," and you know, some people might watch it. And maybe if it was like fully documentary, it would like decrease the number of people. But I don't know, because the theme is not like, you know, Allen versus Pharaoh or what was the other ones we saw lately, the Murder Among the Mormons, or even before that, like Finding Neverland, or the Michael Jordan ones. You need to see that one. There's a new Tiger Woods out too, you know, like with big names, big celebrities, like there's always like or murderers, you know, people are attracted to that, telling a story of people that live in the fringes of society. Yeah, it might not be among the popular ones,
which is another thing that I actually really liked about it. I love her choice of subject matter. These are on the surface, she made unremarkable people like remarkable, and she watched their
oh yeah,
and that's something I really like.
Yeah, no,
I really like to see.
Yeah, it's like she found characters, like real strong, interesting characters.
Yeah, and important stories
in real life. You know, they are out there. If you stop to talk to someone, you might find out that they have like really good stories to tell. And yeah.
So overall, I would definitely recommend it.
Available on Hulu and available in some theaters out there. Yeah. You can watch the nominated one, this and the other nominated to, you know, see what you think. It's definitely, I mean, everybody is saying it's gonna win, and this is winning a lot. But I don't know. Yeah, it might win. You know.
Yeah, we'll see. I wouldn't be mad about that.
The other nominated are. There's nothing like, you know, when what was the movie? The Korean
Parasite.
When Parasite won, there was like at least 3 or 4 other movies that was like, you know.
Yeah.
Parasite, and there's no chance. This 3 or 4 other movie deserves way more. You know, it's like Joker, 1942,
1917.
1917. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yes. Jojo Rabbit. You know, there was like so many great movies. And then Parasite, like,
I know, which was a great movie. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was interesting. It was well made. It deserves a nomination, but winning against any one of those films, I don't get it. This one, sure, yeah.
I mean, the other nominated. We're gonna have to see the other nominated movies, but so far, the 2 we've watched, I still think Chicago 7, Aaron Sorkin did a great job. And I mean, on I don't know. The one thing about awards is it's an election. And like all elections is about politics. It's like how do you run a campaign for the movie? And some people will really watch the movie and vote their heart, you know, vote what they like more. And some people will just, you know, click just like regular elections. So the results sometimes are, you know, not they don't correspond to reality of the populace, what people like more, or even what is better, you know. It's just what circumstantial happened to be voted to get more votes, you know.
Okay, well, we will see what happens later this month. In the meantime, let's go to the world of television. We had some announcements, some cancellations, some renewals. Yeah. So let's take a look at CBS first. CSI Las Vegas is back.
Yeah. And it's going to be called CSI Las Vegas, right? And they're going to bring back, what's his bucket?
William Petersen.
Petersen and Fox. It's Fox, right?
Yes.
Yeah. The show was really good. The show was fun. It's one of the shows that I liked. I saw a couple episodes. I liked it. I never tried to watch the whole thing. I should, because now it's all available. I mean, I don't know if it's available. It should be available somewhere. CBS, right? So CBS
I imagine they have it on Paramount Plus.
And it's you know, it's beginning, middle, and end. You know, you don't have to wait and to start in the middle or to start in the beginning. You can start in the beginning, go to end, and finish. All shows. So I saw a couple episodes, some really good ones. They had like spin-offs, like was Miami, and the other one was New York. I never tried those, but the original one I thought it was pretty cool. And Tarantino, I think Tarantino directed a couple episodes of the original one.
That's right, I remember him.
And so it was interesting. So it's interesting that they're coming back.
It is not too it's always been a very popular series. So it's not like too surprising, but
it's the streaming wars. This streaming moment is the perfect moment to bring to revive shows that might not work, because revivals is risky. Is always risky. It's to do on broadcast TV, but to do on streaming, you can do it, and it's you know, because only the people that want to watch will watch and pay for watch. You know, when you broadcast,
Sure.
you're making people that want it and people that don't want it. And if there's a lot of people that don't want it, the show might be canceled. But before that, the show is running with a lot of people that don't want to watch.
Yeah.
They'll change the channel.
Which is bad. Okay, well, apparently people aren't changing the channel on Young Sheldon because it's gotten renewed for a third season.
Yeah.
No. It's getting a 3-season renewal.
What, is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
At least 6 seasons.
I did not think the show would make it past the first season.
Syndication.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good for them. I honestly have enjoyed it more than I thought it would.
Yeah,
I'm surprised they're getting this much renewal.
I mean, for me, I enjoy it, but it's this close to, it's like, oh man, come on, like, do something new, do something interesting, because it's like this close to get like boring, because they have to strengthen the other characters, they have to get some new characters, because on him only, it's like Big Bang Theory.
Sure.
Big Bang Theory, one was on him only, it will probably fail, but they have like really strong characters. You know, first was him and Leonard and Penny.
Yeah.
And then came the other friends, and then came Bernadette, and then came Amy. You know, it became this whole ensemble of interesting, funny characters that could work for themselves independently. So they have to work on that. But Chuck Lorre has power, CBS, and
true.
he's keeping the show alive, like he's keeping Bob versus Abishola. He just premiered a new show called United States of All, about this volunteer, what they call it, translator for the U.S. Army in Afghanistan, and the soldier comes back home after he's
a Marine, actually. He's a Marine.
A Marine.
Yeah.
So the Marine comes back home after his tour ends, and he brings his friend, his translator, back to the U.S. To get him out of war. And so far it's an interesting. The culture shock, and
it's gonna need to evolve past that pretty quickly, for my taste. Like, a whole show of this, Afghani guy being like, "What? America is so weird," and for me that's pretty hackneyed.
But there's the other side of the culture shock, the fact that the way he does things in the American, it's like. It's like, what? It's like, but we divorced. You don't want to talk. It's like, no. You're gonna sit talk. You're gonna talk, and
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
It's both ways.
Yeah, and I guess I shouldn't judge it totally on the pilot, but I hope that the show evolves beyond some of like the culture shock cliches and gets into the deeper side of things.
Oh, it's comedy. It shouldn't necessarily go deep.
Okay, maybe not deeper, but still, like. I don't know. I just feel like there were a lot of cliches in that first episode.
Yeah. Oh, life is full of cliches.
Life is so cliche. Oh my gosh. Okay, so CBS is reviving, renewing, but there's actually working on a new series, something that's actually truly new. It's a supernatural comedy called Ghosts. And it's going to be starring Rose McIver and Utkarsh Ambudkar. No. Utkarsh Ambudkar. I'm saying his name wrong. I looked it up. I practiced, but I'm still saying it wrong. Either way.
We know her from Zombie. iZombie.
Yeah.
She was the zombie girl. And now she's going to be a ghost.
I don't know. We know she wears the white makeup well.
She plays the undead.
Yes. The line between life and death is a good place for her.
And I remember him from what was the movie? The movie with the girl. Someone comes from the future, and meet the girlfriend. The girlfriend's dreams. What was that movie?
I have no idea.
There's a red-haired girl. She writes a letter. Godmothered.
Godmothered.
Yes. Yeah, he was the boss on that company, and he was I think he was the Mindy's brother on Mindy Project.
Okay.
So and you might see him on other
Yeah.
So yeah.
And behind the show, we have New Girl alums Joe Port and Joe Port and Joe Wiseman.
Yes.
So pretty strong resumes.
Yeah.
Comedy resumes coming to this. So I look forward to that. It seems new and interesting and promising. Okay, cancellations. American Gods.
Yeah, we're not past third season, but they promised they're gonna make a movie.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Cool. I don't say no to Neil Gaiman.
Yeah.
Inspired projects.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Bless the Harts. This is part of the Fox animation Domination. I guess it's not dominated. It's getting canceled.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Maybe it's too local. Maybe it's like for you. It's very funny because you know some of that culture area.
Yeah.
Right. The what?
It's set in my hometown.
Yeah.
Basically, and yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's not appealing to everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Either way, Fox canceled it.
Yeah, that's disappointing.
Yeah.
Given other things that get to live, I'm sad this one's going. But that's okay. Life goes on, unless you're Bless the Hearts.
Yeah, bless their hearts.
Okay, and then over to Warner Brothers. DC is pulling the plug on New Gods and The Tribe.
That's a bad one. That's a terrible one because it's like Ava DuVernay and her partner in writing. It's like they were like working and apparently they were really excited. They wrote the story. And boom, not gonna happen. And it's like really, it's like you have this story already, which is Anyways, so they canceled that, and it would be about Apocalypse and the New Gods. The Heavenly Father, is that what they call it? Oh, Celestial Father. I always forget the name in English. Of New Genesis and dark side of Apocalypse, it could be. It's Jack Kirby is like gold, comic book gold, and it could be all the way from their origins to their sons, and Granny Goodness and the Furies, Barda, Mr. Miracle, and Orion and Orion, and what's the other one?
I really don't remember.
The chair one. Anyways, there's like so many interesting characters.
Yeah.
Just for instance, the Eternals are basically like a rip-off of that. It's like, anyways.
Yeah.
So it's sad, and the train would be a sort of horror movie in the Aquaman universe.
That trench.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad. That would have been cool to see.
And I don't know. There's wars going on Warner Brothers concerning DC, and some people says that to the point that because of Zack Snyder, these were canceled because how the way Darkseid looked on the Snyder cut. It's like, oh, now we can make a movie because we have to make it look like him, and
that's a dumb reason.
Yeah. Now someone made a meme.
Sense.
Someone made a really good meme, really funny meme saying that. There's a movie called, I can't remember, the Hawkman is about fighter pilots, World War II. It's a DC book, and Spielberg's involved and they're gonna do it, and someone said, oh, there's an airplane on Snyder Cut, they're gonna cancel that movie. And there's another one, I can't remember the other one, but it was like, I don't know, there's a someone show skin on Snyder
I was gonna
Cut.
say, like, do they know that there's like superheroes in the Snyder Cut? And
someone shows skin on the Snyder Cut. It's like, oh, they're gonna cancel Zatanna. Some like that. Yeah, but yeah, those are sad.
That's too bad.
Most of the New Gods, yeah.
Okay. All right, but it's not all
especially
doom and gloom.
Especially because it's like a new director. She directed Selma. They won Oscars for it, and among other things she's been doing, and it would be a very different and interesting take.
Yes. Yes.
Which DC so far DC is doing it contrary to some and doing really well, contrary to some beliefs that DC is not doing as well as Marvel because Marvel did more. But Marvel they're all the same. You know, when you have different directors like DC is doing it and giving them the freedom to do it, you know, you can get great stories. But those
we will not get those great stories. Oh, it's too bad. Well, as I was saying, not all is doom and gloom and cancellation over at DC Films and Warner Brothers, because Randy McKinnon has been tapped to write a Static Shock movie.
Yeah, Julius Jordan, no, so Michael B. Jordan, he's going to be producing, he's been talking about
Oh, perfect, yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, cool. It's a fun character, it's a great character. The animation show was fun.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah. Alright, that's all I've got on my list.
That's it.
That's the whole list.
I guess that's it for this week. We see you next week with more news of pop culture, movies, TV, games. Yeah. Keep watching, comment, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Yes. May the force be with you. Live long and prosper. Bye. Bye.